This video is for practice 7C. In this video, we're going to learn how to create exterior and interior elevations, add building sections, and wall sections. To start, we're going to open the Modern Hotel Elevations file. Then we're going to open the floor plan, Floor 1 Overall View. We're going to double-click on it in the project browser to open the view. In the View control bar, click the Show Crop Region button. Ensure that there is enough space above the pool house to add an elevation mark at this scale. If not, move the crop region up. So I'm going to click on the crop region, grab the blue control grip, and pull it up. In the View tab, we're going to go to the Create panel, and we're going to expand elevation. And we're going to click Elevation. In the Type selector, select Elevation, Building Elevation. So right now it's on an interior elevation, which is round. A building elevation is square. We're going to place an elevation marker outside of the pool building. To deselect the elevation tool, click on the Modify button. Next, we're going to change the length and the depth of the elevation boundary so only the pool house is displayed. To do this, we're going to click on the triangle that's on the elevation marker, and then we're going to use the grips to pull the elevation in so that it's only looking at the sides of the pool house, and then we're going to pull it back so it sees the entire depth of the pool house. We're going to double click on the pointed side, so this arrow, and it's going to open the pool house elevation. We're going to change the crop region so that the height is up to floor 3. So we're going to adjust this crop region and pull it down so that it goes to floor 3. And we're going to move the bottom up so it's just below the floor line. So we're going to come up, zoom in a little bit. We don't want to see the footings, so about, oops, that's a little too much, about there. We're also going to bring in the sides so that they're close to the pool house. We're going to hide the grids and the levels so the elevation is similar to the figures shown in the book. To hide the elevations and levels, we can click on the grid, right-click, and say Hide in View, Category, and it will hide all elements of that category. To hide the levels, we can click on it, right-click, say Hide in View, and Category. Next, we're going to hide the crop region. So we're going to come down to our View control bar and click Hide Crop Region. In the project browser, in the elevations, building elevations, we're going to expand building elevations. We're going to rename the elevation, elevation 1-A, Pool North. So we're going to right-click, rename, and call it Pool-North. And say OK. We're going to return to the floor plan's Floor 1 Overall View. We're going to add elevation markers to the other sides of the pool house. So to do that, we're going to go Elevation, Elevation, Building Elevation, and we're going to add an elevation marker here, and then one over here to this side of the pool house. Make sure that your elevation marker isn't intersecting the grid lines. We're going to resize them and rename them. So we're going to click on this one, resize it so that it's only looking at the side of the pool house, and we're going to expand it back. We can double click on it. We're going to resize this So it has similar features to the other one we corrected. We're going to hide these features. And then we're going to turn the crop region off. Go back to floor 1 overall and adjust this view as well. Next, we're going to rename the views. Okay, so if this is the north elevation, this is going to be the east elevation. I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to rename it Pool East. The other one will be Pool West. Make sure that you show the Pool East and Pool West view. You may actually want to tile the elevations like we did before to show that you have the Pool East and Pool West views modified. Next, we are going to add interior elevations. So we're going to go back and open the floor plan, floor 1, restrooms. We're going to select the floor that shows the floor drain slopes and hide it. So that would be these right here. We're going to select them, right click, hide in view, element. In the view tab, we're going to click on the create panel, elevation. We're going to select elevation, and then in the type selector, we want to select interior elevation. And again, these are going to be round. We're going to place an elevation in one of the restrooms and then in the other restroom. And then I'm going to click Modify. Now I'm going to click on the circle. When I click on the circle, these boxes come up with triangles. These, if I click the box, it will create another interior elevation view pointing in that direction. And you'll see that the triangle at the end of the circle gets filled in to indicate that there's an elevation in that direction. I'm going to do this for both restrooms. Now, in the project browser, under elevations, interior elevations, I'm going to expand this box, and I see all the elevations that I just created. Now I'm going to rename the elevations as follows. We're going to have men's restroom east, and if you don't want to type the same thing every time, you can highlight it, press Control-C on your keyboard, which will copy the text, and then you can hit Control-V to paste it on the next one. 1B, we're going to rename it, and this is going to be men's restroom north. We're going to repeat this until we have all of the names that are shown in the figure in the book. Now I have all of my elevations created. If you can't see all of them, make sure that you enlarge your project browser just a little bit so you can read all the names. Next, we're going to select all of the elevation marker arrows. So we're going to go back to our floor 1 restrooms, and we're going to select all of the arrows. So to select multiple objects in Revit, you hold down Control on the keyboard and then click on the object you're trying to select. If you accidentally select something, you can hit Shift, which deselects the object. Now in the properties box, we're going to, I think I selected something I wasn't supposed to. Yep, the door. Okay, now in the properties box, we're going to go down and set hide at scales coarser than. This one. We need to set this to 1/4 inch equals a foot. And then hit apply. We're going to open one of the elevations facing the door, the men's restroom east. I think I accidentally named it the wrong thing. Look, this should be men's restroom east, so I will rename it. If that happens to you, you can rename it. But just know that when you rename it, if you already have a view called east, it's going to have an error. So I'm going to call it east 1, and then I have to rename men's restroom east, men's restroom south. And then I need to rename this one and fix it and just take the 1 off. Okay. So the interior elevation should automatically stop at the boundaries of the walls and the ceiling. If it doesn't, you have to adjust the crop region. So we should move this down and adjust the crop region so that it stops at the ceiling and it stops at the walls and the floor. And then we can turn the crop region off. For the next task, we're going to clean up and add a building section. So we're going to open the Floor 1 reference. We're going to select and hide the elevation markers facing the pool house. So these up here. Make sure you select a hide and view element so it doesn't hide all of the elevation markers. In the View tab, we're going to click on Section. In the Type selector, we're going to select Building Section. We're going to draw a horizontal section and vertical section through the building. So we can see here our horizontal section is running this way through the building, and our vertical section is running this way through the building. In the project browser, under sections, we're going to rename them. So I'm going to double click on this section, scroll down to sections, and I'm going to rename this one east-west direction. And then I'm going to rename section 2 north-south section. Then I'm going to add wall sections. So I'm going to go back to floor 2, and I'm going to hide by element the elevation markers facing the pool house. So I'm going to select them, right-click, hide and view elements. And then in the View tab, I'm going to click Section. In the Type selector, we're going to select Create a Wall Section. We're going to draw 4 wall sections as shown in the figure. So one of them is going to be here. Then we have one through the door up here. And remember, you can hit Enter to repeat a command. One through the curtain wall here. And then one up here through the window. Make sure that you adjust the sections so they don't overlap any other annotation in the drawing. So for example, I might want to click on this and then use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move it over so it doesn't overlap with the door tag. Same thing down here, I might want to move this section over so it doesn't overlap with the window tag. Now, view each one of the wall sections. And you can take a screen capture of each one of those.